What's going on, guys? Travis here. Battlefield 6 truly is a make or break video game after the nightmare they called Battlefield 2042. With a 4-year development cycle, I really think that Battlefield 6 is a make or break title for this franchise. I think they're in a prime position to do it. In this video, I'm going to break down the 10 things that they need to do in order to save the franchise. Let's get into it.
Oh, terrible aim.
First, no crazy cosmetics. I think Battlefield is best when it stays rooted in their setting. Imagine if we had Nicki Minaj running around in Battlefield 1. It just wouldn't make sense. I really think it would break up the immersion and the, being lost in the battlefield, right? In this immersive gameplay experience. And look, let's be real, guys. We all know EA is going to make their money and they're going to sell their skins. But as long as they're true to theme and accurate with the time period and not crazy out there, personally, I'm okay with it. Second, in-depth gun customization. One thing I think Call of Duty did really well in 2019 was the implementation of the gunsmith. I think it was really cool to cater guns and attachments to your playstyle. If you want, close quarter combat with higher recoil, you can do that, vice versa, whatever caters to your gameplay style. However, I think it should be limited and be very specific with the amount of attachments they have. Modern Warfare 3 had way too many sights, grips, stocks, things like that. I think it was attachment overload. I think there's a perfect balance that they can strike with having, this amount of attachments in the game that still gives players the ability to customize their guns while not having these crazy amounts of attachments people will never use in the game. Third, immersive gameplay. I think this is easier said than done. However, I think if you just load into a game of Battlefield 1, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. That game is incredibly immersive, and it feels like you're in the battlefield. If you hear screams, you hear airplanes, you hear tanks, you hear grenades, you hear gunshots, it truly is spectacular, especially for a game that came out in 2016. And I think Battlefield 5 was good at it. Battlefield 2042, I think, has none. It's crucial to make this game immersive, especially with the modern setting. Fourth, I hope they do a operations style game mode. I think Battlefield 1 operations was perfect, and I think Battlefield 5's operations was a good development, good step in the right direction. And I hope that Battlefield 6, finds a way to innovate even more. I really think the opportunity they have to have an operation style mode with using modern technology, helicopters, things like that, it would be amazing to experience this in a modern military shooter if they can replicate the feel of operations from Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. Number 5, a server browser. I think this is something that's slept on a lot, but I think it's really valuable for these types of games. With a lot of maps and, as the game progresses in its life cycle, people want to select unique and specific maps that they want to play on, especially with older games that are being played now, such as Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1. You want to try and find out specific maps, and if people are playing on them, you can join a server. However, in Battlefield 2042, there is no server browser. And I think that's a big issue, and something they must bring back for this Battlefield. Something that's very simple, however, has a large impact on the game when it launches.
Right, let's swoop
Number 6,
around.
Traditional class system. It's really unfortunate that I even have to wish for this one or even say this one. However, I think it's truly a core part of Battlefield that Battlefield 2042 really missed the ball on, and they must return to. With supposed rumors coming out that each weapon will be available for all classes, I think that's a big mistake because, there's obviously trade-offs. And I think that's important in a game like this, especially with, making a balanced squad and trying to help your team win. I really hope through Battlefield Labs, they test and people give their feedback and say that guns should be specific to each class. I really think this is a core part of Battlefield that they must bring back. They must nail it. Number 7, a wide variety of maps. I really hope each map in this game has their unique playstyle and feel compared to all other maps. I really think if you load up Battlefield 1, for example, each map feels different. Some maps have a front line that's destroyed, like a ballroom blitz with the castle in the middle, Argonne Forest, infantry only, dense forest combat. I really think each map has their own feel and play style that makes, each game unique and fresh. I just hope they include that in this year's Battlefield. Let's get some infantry only, night maps, naval, all-out warfare, mix of infantry, close quarter combat. We'll also open fields for snipers, things like that. I think it would make the game fresh and add towards its replayability. Number 8, put multiplayer first. With the supposed third mode, aka Battle Royale, coming to this year's Battlefield, I think we all can hope that multiplayer is the focus. Just look at what happened with Call of Duty, and when Warzone came out, they really catered the games towards Warzone because it's free to play and it can attract more players. But I really think with Battlefield, they do their best when they focus on multiplayer and then go outside of that. I think if they nail this multiplayer experience, it would put them in a great position to take some players from Call of Duty, who I think have been struggling to put multiplayer first while Warzone is still this popular. Number 9, grounded movement. I really hope Battlefield doesn't take the avenue that Call of Duty took in creating this really fast-paced, really, skilled, quick first-person shooter with Omni movement. I really think Battlefield is different in the sense of positioning and hitting your shots is more important than whipping around a corner, bunny hopping, and sliding around a corner and killing someone because you're faster, things like that. I really think the grounded movement would benefit the game a lot, and I really hope they don't fall into this popular trend of games becoming quicker, faster, really, really twitchy, and I think Battlefield should go back to the roots and make it grounded movement. Number 10, return to a 2-year development cycle. This is something that I don't think people are really talking about often, which I hope they go back to. Battlefield used to come out every 2 years, which I thought was a great release schedule. I think it gives them a lot more time to polish the next game. However, I also think when you buy a now $80 game, could be 80, still 70 at this time, $70 every year will add up, and especially in this economy, gamers will likely have to make a choice. And I think if they know a game will be supported for 2 years rather than 1, I think it could give them the upper hand of some people who think about purchasing Call of Duty over Battlefield. So guys, there you have it. These are my top 10 things that Battlefield must do in order to save the franchise. They have a great opportunity to strike in the first-person shooter market with, I think, Call of Duty going to have a down year. I think the reintroduction to modern military is huge for the franchise. Many veteran players will know and understand it very well. They'll feel like they were playing the game back in the day. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think Battlefield must have, and also, what do you think of my top 10 list? I look forward to reading your comments down there in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my channel for more Battlefield news and gameplay. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.